All right, what's up, y'all? This your boy Sal Holmes, comedian all the way from North New Jersey. We out here on S.T.A.R.V.E TV, talk with my man Jay Helene. We in the building, long time coming. What's up, Jay?
I'm in the studio with Jay Helene.
I'm in the studio with Jay Helene.
I'm in the studio with Jay Holly.
I'm in the studio with Jay Helene. I'm in the studio with Jay Helene.
You are now in the studio with Jay Helene.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy Jay Helene. We are back with another episode of S.T.A.R.V.E Talk. This is going to be an even doper episode. We going back and forth between men, women, back in people I knew from before, people that's legendary. We just had an amazing interview with Tamika, and shout out to Tamika because her book 1 year anniversary of Ink Pen Diva. So now talking to my brother right here. Listen, this is my classmate, known as brother since I was a kid. But he's doing some amazing things right now, man. My man Sal Holmes from the Bricks, North Tech graduate, played ball with me, been a comedian all his life. and he decided to get some money on it. So good look. Hey, Sal, man, thanks for taking the time, bro.
I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I've been looking at you, watching your work, watching you grow, bro. It's amazing to see where we've come from to where we are now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I won't starve. You won't starve. I like the motto. I like your work. Like I said, it's real professional. And salute and thank you for having me, man. Let's have some fun with this one.
Yeah, definitely, man. Look, again, I'm proud of you. Look, when you did, we're going to get to this, but when you did that Apollo situation, hey, listen, we was in the chat, like, we was going crazy. I was talking to Penny, some of the other people. I was like, yo, Sal's on the pod. Like, that was crazy. I was talking with Black Kai from Shabazz. You remember Kyrie? Yeah, I'm talking to him. He's like, hell yeah, Sal. Like, we were going crazy, like, as if we was there. And that's what we supposed to be doing. Like, if you was there, we was there. So, man, that's just amazing, man. But we got to take it back first, though, man. We always know you were funny. we was bullshitting around in school, having fun, being good kids. I always tell people, like, you know what? People got into some shit, but overall, we were good kids. You know what I mean? We were good kids. We was just having some fun. So was you thinking about going this direction while you was in school, or you was like everybody else just chilling?
I was just chilling. I ain't, it ain't never like hit me. Like, I always knew I was funny. You know what I'm saying? I was more or less just going through the motions at that time, like, say, high school and basketball. And, it wasn't, even though I knew I loved it, I would watch it. And I remember Miss Banks, she would always say, boy, you act like you Martin Lawrence or something. You know what I'm saying? I knew I had it, but I didn't take it serious until like 2000, 2003 was when I really, like, you know what? This it, and I took off and took that ride.
Oh man, we're gonna come back to that because you just said just in that time, you said something amazing. So again, you coming from the Bricks, you had a very, very significant, pops in your life that was significant to not just you, but to the city of Newark and to the youngsters of Newark. So Coach Holmes, your dad, I remember going to Spencer for a couple years and the small fry and everything that he did, and then going all the way to being a principal of a school. What was that like? Because I know you were just chilling, but you got your dad who's setting the world on fire in Newark at that time.
Well, like, it's funny, right? Because you know what I'm saying? As good as my pops was, as, a coach and a teacher, I still was messing up. You know what I'm saying? Like, my pops literally cut me from the basketball team like every year. He would be like, man, get the hell out. You ain't serious. Get out. Like, you know what I mean? I would have to go home. He's like, yo, go do your homework. And everybody else was taking basketball serious. Now, while they being serious, I'm in there making jokes. I'm in there playing, like, this ain't the time for that. You know what I'm saying? So at the time, like, as serious as he was, and I'm talking about, we was winning championships.
Yeah.
And running the city, he had the city on lock. You know what I'm saying? And me being his son of a coach who is like world renowned or city renowned, and they looking at me like, he can't play ball for shit. Like, you know what I mean? So that's where I kind of developed a sense of humor because as people is looking at me, they talking cash, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know what
no,
to me. So it became like a defense mechanism. So that's
yeah,
how I became good at hiking and talking about other people. You know what I'm saying? That was like you might be good at ball, but I could talk about you.
yeah,
So
definitely.
that's where it developed that from the beginning. It was more or less like a defense mechanism, and I just became good at it.
Look at what you just said though, man, because these kids now wouldn't be able to take it.
Nah.
They wouldn't be able to take that. Like you said, and your father ain't put you in some private school in another town.
Mm-mm.
You had to go to school with people you knew who was
Yeah,
playing
but
for your father.
yeah, they put me in Saint Benedict. You remember back in the days when you had them like them few days before you actually went back to school.
Yeah, yeah,
Like you go
yeah.
back like a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday,
Yep,
but then
exactly.
school really. Yeah, he
Yeah.
let me go to Saint Benedict for like 5 days for like the summer, from like August to like I think it was September or something like that. I didn't realize he had ran to play on me. You know what I'm saying? So I went to St. Benedict for a couple of like a month or so, and then like like what you want to do? I said, well, I'm gonna switch. I want to go to North Tech. I want to be around girls. Not knowing my mother, like man, he think he making a decision. We just ain't paying for no more D's. We ain't paying all this money for him to keep getting D's. I didn't realize
Exactly.
it. You know.
Nah, but that's the thing, man. And again, man, shout out. We know we just lost your dad not too long ago, a couple years ago.
Yeah,
But
rest in
shout out to
peace,
you
Pops.
guys and shout out to Coach Holmes. Like I said, I wanted to play. I went to Spencer from second, third, and fourth grade, right before small fry. But when I do take gym class and I'm playing and I'm seeing he like, yeah, you gonna play with me, you gonna play. But I ended up getting kicked out of Spencer, going back over my side of town. But I still, if you playing basketball, you had to know who your dad was. Then I went to Peshon, and he ended up being the principal of Peshon. And so
Yeah.
that was kind of cool, man. So I definitely wanted to make sure starting this out that we shouted him out and
Yeah,
what he did for our city, man.
Yeah, it was like even some of those lessons from back then, I
Mhm.
implement and apply them now.
Yeah.
Like you know how you catch on later. I caught on
Yes.
late, but I caught on. You know, it was a
Yeah.
little late. There was a little time delay, but I got it. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I always say, if it wasn't for my pops, I probably wouldn't be here. There ain't no telling where I would be at right now because he always encouraged me, like, look, bro, you serious, you got to be serious about it. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Whatever you do, you need to focus. And I
Yeah.
would tell him, like, I don't know how to focus.
Hey,
Or
but
I
what does
told
that
him that
mean
one
though?
time.
No, I'm sure. Look, I'm sure. I know you sold that.
He looked at me like, go over there, Sal.
But he loves you for you though, and that's the thing
Yeah.
because. And what does that mean? Because a lot of parents literally have their hoop dreams and they pump them into their kids. And so the importance of him allowing you to be you, that had to be everything.
Yeah. Well, you learn it later. Like when you
Yeah.
see when I was younger, it was like, he the meanest man in the world. You know what I mean? Because he ruled with iron fists.
Yeah.
So not only was, everybody else, he was hard in practice, but it never turned off for me. For y'all, it turned off. It
Yeah.
never turned off. So not only was, basketball practice hard, but before that, we was in school. He was the teacher.
Yeah, exactly.
Before that, he's the father at home. You know what I mean? So he the parent, the teacher, and the coach, all at the same time. Like, yo, what type of superhero is you? Black? Like, I don't get no days off. No days off, bro.
That was the word too. All of the black.
Yeah,
Nah,
that's what
black.
we always call him, black.
Him, Lou.
Yep.
Grimsley, what's up, black? Yeah, man. Look,
But they
so
taught us.
yeah, hell yeah, they taught us a whole lot, man. And the funny thing is, we don't, like you said, we didn't get it then, but now we looking back, we like, who was the most influential individuals? Like I did an interview with OG, Sean McCray. I did an interview with OG. I had to tell him like how he was from a basketball perspective. Like, yo, man, we paid attention to you, dude. Like,
look how influential he was. You know what I'm saying? Because you know him from the transition from the Zoo Crew to, he running for councilman. Wow. Then you like, he got the summer leagues, he got these leagues. So now my niece my nephews are coming up under him, and it's like, no, listen to what he got to say.
Yeah, for sure. For
You know
sure.
what I mean?
We was just doing whatever
He
we
ain't
was doing.
directing you no wrong. Like that's like my father. He came for the projects. Now they parents is look, no, listen to what Holmes got to say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Word up.
So we need a little bit more of that in our community.
Yeah, and we got to definitely continue to support it. So you get through high school, you know, you don't decide to be an HVAC professional because even though that was your shop.
As you're right. It's funny, right? Because I went from high school, then I joined the military.
Okay.
Right? So I joined the Air Force, and guess what I did?
What's that?
HVAC work.
Oh yeah, yeah. Look, man, I remember Turner telling me when I was about to go, he's like, man, you better take that shit seriously. That B telling you, man, these people make good money. I'm like, man, I ain't clean no damn air conditioning. I ain't doing that no air conditioning.
So hard-headed young kids who wanted to do what we wanted to do. We thought we knew everything.
Yeah.
We're not realizing all you need to do is just sit down, pay attention, and listen and receive what they sending your way. You know what I'm saying? And it took me, as I'm doing the stuff in the military, I'm like, well, you should have known this already if you would have paid attention in high school.
Word. So
now
being in his class,
special course, yeah.
People don't know being in his class is where Sal Holmes, the comedian, started.
Yeah, well, yeah, it started long before, but that's where I started honing.
I think you really, got because between you, Penny, y'all cats was like really sharpening the blade in that situation. Even though he still feels a way about it, but I think if he really took it like you took it now, like you said, hey, I wasn't wasting my time. Now looking at your career. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't wasting my time. What was one of the funniest moments you remember in shop class? You honing your skills.
Well, for the most, it was just one of them stage games used to get real serious back in the class. I just remember feeling like I just always had to be prepared.
Yeah.
Because you never know who gonna walk through that door. And what started happening was, right, I was like in the beginning, I was killing cats. Then it started coming around. Now they done stepped their game up. It made me have to go even further.
Yeah.
Because they was coming into class prepared. They was ready. It was a few times I'm like, all right, that's enough. You mad because now they roasted you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it was like I just remember the good times we used to have. You know what I'm saying? And always keeping that bleed sharp for comedy. You know what I mean? So
yeah, man.
Yeah.
I love it because again, I go back to the kids nowadays, and I wanted to bring that up because I got high school. My daughter's in high school, and I'm telling like y'all be talking about bullying. I'm like, well, this was every day for us. We were just talking about each other, or we come from the New York area. Of course, we don't claim New York, but any other place would be the New York area, fashion heavy. So if your clothes aren't right, you gotta be prepared for that. Somebody coming at you, your breath stink, whatever. Some girls say something about you, and now these kids can't take nothing.
Yeah, and the crazy part is, it was something. Somebody was getting cyberbullied.
Oh yeah,
And I think I had the most simplest answer ever, and I'm like, why don't they just turn it off? Right?
Yeah,
like it was like, and it's like, turn it off and don't listen to it. But it's this generation, they looking, reading it, and then
it means so much to them. My daughter went through that, and she actually wrote 2 books. We helped her get 2 books through anti-bullying books because she actually went through cyberbullying during COVID.
Wow.
Yeah, because she got on to Discord with some kids in Europe. And they were cool for like the first month when we was in the house. Then the second month, they kind of turned to her, and she just looking, and like her whole demeanor went, I'm like, man, you don't get off that shit. I literally turned it off and disconnected everything, and she was better. I'm like, but you don't have to stay on there. Oh, I go in there, they're talking about me. I'm like, you ain't got to stay on there.
Yeah.
But it's something about it. It's a real thing now.
It is, but it's like we almost like in the gap between before it happened and then happening now. So it's kind of like, I don't understand it. Just cut it off whereas this is their world now.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So they introduced the social media, the internet, and everything. This is the world they grew up in, right? We
Yeah.
grew up in the scrape your knee era, and hopping over fences and falling and breaking, and I still want to go outside. When now, you really got bullied and really got chased
Really got bullied.
and really got jumped.
I showed my kids. Remember that video of your mama on crack rock?
Yeah,
Your
I
mama's
remember the
on
song.
crack rock. Not my mama. They got a video for that, and I showed her the video, and everybody, this one little black girl in the middle, and everybody saying, "Your mama's on crack rock," and then she come back, "Not my mama." I said, "This is bullying." I like it. This little girl can take that because some of us went through that. Like some people's mother was on it, and somebody at the school was talking about them, and they kept going to school. So what I started doing, Sal, I started hiking on my kids. I said, because y'all gotta take this shit before y'all leave the house, man. So I had to start doing it. I said, you know what? I'm gonna talk about y'all. Now they getting at me, but a couple years ago, my daughter was in the pipeline with that, man. For real.
Yeah, that's crazy. But see, and in our household, that's how I grew up, right? You know what I'm saying? Like if we take it back to what my pops and my moms did, in that household, you had to be sharp.
Yeah.
If you was off, my sisters and my mother and my father, they like, So before you left the house, I was prepared before I left the house because I had to go through it inside the house.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't for everybody unless you was in there. Now, if anybody that came through the doors, you got it. Family, aunts, uncles, cousins, nieces, nephews, the friends, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that house is the best, and you just had to be sharp, man. So it's beautiful that you telling them that, you know what I'm saying, and showing her how. Because I had to go through that. Being funny, you know what I mean? You can get punched in the face for that.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Back in the day, it's like I had to learn how to check that. Like, yo, you a little bit too funny. But you remember this? I bet I know how to fight though. Remember that?
Exactly,
I know how to fight.
Yeah. I bet you can't beat me.
Yeah. So now, instead of the internet, you can stay in the house all day and talk all that. But back in the day, it's like, go outside. But
you ain't sitting there, go outside. I don't want to go outside. Go outside.
I was talking shit all week. I don't want to go outside. It's Saturday. Everybody outside.
Everybody outside right now. Ain't no school, ain't no teachers. Can't nobody stop it. Yeah, man. Yeah. So that's crazy, man. So you in the military, taking you back to HVAC. So what happened with the military transition?
The military transition was probably one of the best decisions of my life. At the time, I didn't know where I was going, what I wanted to do, how I was gonna, live this thing called life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I knew I couldn't. You can't live off your mother and father. You're a grown man now.
Yeah.
So I decided to go to the military because I ain't want to wait. I'm like, you wasted their money in St. Benedict's in high school. Why would I try to waste their money? Only thing I know that I'm gonna do, if I go to any college, I'm going to have fun. I'm gonna be chasing girls. I'm gonna be smoking. I'm gonna be drinking. I'm gonna do whatever other than learning. So I chose the military, and I'm like, all right, they'll help me. They'll teach me a trade. They'll pay me. I get to travel and see the world, and I get to live on my own, and I see what it's like. Excuse me, to live life with nobody but me.
Yeah.
So it was the best decision in my life because I got to meet some brothers. Matter of fact, brother called me today, one of my homeboys. I got something set up in Illinois. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Everything's straight, and it's just off of being in the military. Like they've seen me from then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when I got in the military, the first time I actually hit the stage was in the military.
Okay.
Right? 2003, the winter of 2003. So I think it's like right after New Year's.
20 years, man.
They had a talent show on the base, Osan Air Force Base, South Korea. So they like, yo, you funny, man. You should try it. Sal, you funny. You should try it. I'm like, man, I whatever. So I gathered enough courage, sign up, get ready. Long story short, get up there, have prepared. I get booed off stage. That it's Apollo style.
Wow.
So they like, I said my first joke, they laughed, and I paused because I couldn't hear. So I
Yeah.
waited for them to laugh so I could react. And in that second of waiting, boo, get off. I'm talking about, I tore my soul up, bruh. It tore me all the way up. So it took me a year from then to say, you know what? I'm gonna try it again, because it was just always in my heart. And I was scared that I would get booed again. Then it just came to a point where it's like, it already happened. Now what
Yeah.
you gonna do?
Yeah. Were you home
You
at that
know,
time, or you still in the military?
I was still in the military. So I ended up actually getting out towards the end of the year.
Yeah.
And I ended up coming back home. Once I came back home, I told everybody, look, I'm gonna be a comedian. They like, okay. You always been funny. And that's all, that was always the reaction. You always been funny, huh? But everybody kind of was like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Until they started seeing me progressing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Till they start seeing the actual work being put in. You know, and then once they start seeing the work, they're like, when you going on Def Comedy Day? Like, people swear 2 days, 2 shows, you funny, you supposed to automatically be on some sitcom. And it's a process. It's a hard road and journey. It's a craft.
Yeah. I just said 20 years, man. Like that's why I wanted to come. He was like, man, between like 2003, I'm just thinking and I'm seeing where you're going now. And then one thing I don't like about comedians, especially the ones who won like the DL Hughes, I love them as comedians, but when they start to talk and they start saying like shit like, well, if your wife gotta work, then you ain't a real man. I'm like, yo, it's like 100 million people trying to be where you are as comedians, and their wives gotta work, because otherwise they're gonna put the hell out their house. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I think it's making it real disingenuous about how the journey is. Like, it's a path, you know what I'm saying? And somebody is actually working a job, is a great comedian, making a couple dollars off of that, and still figuring it out, man. So talk more about the journey of getting in and saying, were you working a job while you were starting in 2003 or when you got home?
Well, I did 2003, I came home and I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do again. Now I get out the middle, I'm honorably discharged, you know, I got all this experience, but I'm like, what I'm gonna do, right? So my father like, why would you leave and you ain't have a job? So I didn't have a job. But I'm like, I need to get this military on me. He's like, what, yo, like, you know, now the father and the man is like, type of dumbass shit is he on? Like, so what happened was, I'm like, all right. I started throwing shows, putting shows together, my cousins and I. And then I just said, you know, walk towards what you're trying to do and figure it out. So, you know what I mean? I started going to open mics. I started writing a lot of jokes. I started going to comedy clubs. I started traveling to New York because they said this is where it's at. So I was in and out of the circuit, you know what I mean, just trying to learn how to be a comedian. You know what I'm saying? So it's a spot open every night all over, say, New York, New Jersey, in Essex County area, Union County area. It was places where you could go. So I kind of fully put myself into comedy and trying to figure out, where do I need to be to learn how to be funny?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I even took classes, workshops, and I got a job. So I realized I had to get a job. And that's when I started working at the county jail. So I worked at the county job in there for 18, going on 19 years. And at the same time, I've been maintaining a comedy career because I still got bills to pay.
Wow, man. That's dope,
So
man.
learning comedy over the 20 years, the path is hard. It's not an easy path. It's a lot of ups, it's a lot of downs. In the process, I created my own comedy club, Sweets Comedy Club. And that was created because of, in the early stages of stand-up comedy, I was getting shitted on.
Yeah.
That nigga ain't funny. Get the fuck out of here. Or it's like, he's funny, but I don't want him around because I'm not funny yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you deal with a lot of different things, but I would say I wanted it. I mean, I'm like, felt like you, I'm not starving. I'm going to get this right here.
You said something major that I didn't even know that they had. You said you took workshops and classes. Damn,
Yeah.
yo, talk about that because a lot of people don't know that exists.
Yeah, they got workshops, they got classes, they got writing classes, public speaking classes, but I actually took a stand-up writing class.
Wow.
It's in the New Yorker building, Comedy Institution of America.
Wow. I ain't know
Comedy
that,
Institute
man.
in New York. So I would travel every day. Well, two, 3 times a week, I would catch the train, the path over to the city and take the classes. So what we do is we'll write the material that we're trying to work on, right? And present it to the class. And it's everybody's like it's a class full of people who are all trying to be comedians. So now you got all different styles, all different nationalities of comedians trying to figure out the art of stand-up comedy.
Wow.
So it was interesting because I'm coming from more of a street perspective, where there
Yeah.
was more of a somewhat of a mainstream. How can I put it? It was interesting, to
No,
say the least.
I see it. You see it when you go to certain, like I'm out here and you know, I was playing around with it a little bit. And I went to,
I
you know,
saw that. I saw the clip you sent me. I was like, okay, that's
hey,
a good start right there.
you see some, I mean, it's white people, Spanish people, it's everybody in there, and it's completely different. And so I know being in the bricks, being back home, you might be with a bunch of people that's like you, but I'm in Vegas and you go out there and you seeing these cats and they're like really Jim Carrey funny, or they're, you know, Adam Sandler funny. And it's different kinds of situations. You got, you know, Capone funny dudes there. Then you got
Yeah,
the Chris Tucker funny dudes. And so you
yeah,
just get a chance to watch and it's like, oh, that's funny too. You know what I'm saying? And how his eyes would move, how his facial expressions is what got everybody laughing more so than anything
yeah,
else. He walks all the time or he's just standing
yeah.
there. You know what I mean? It's
So
just so many different things.
and yeah, it's so many different forms. Like I tell new comedians, read the Comedy Bible by Judith Carter. That was one thing that helped me out, where it can take you
Wow.
from the actual how to set up a joke. You know
Mm,
what I'm saying? Premise, set up, premise, act out. Set up, premise, act out. You know what I mean? You learn how to set up a joke, you learn the premise of it, and then you learn how to act it out, which is basically like the funny, the faces, like you said. So each person has a different uniqueness about them when it comes to their comedy style. You know what I'm
wow.
saying? So
Yeah.
that was one thing I learned as well too. It's like it's a vastness of stand-up comedy or comedy just in general. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some people who are rich off of comedy, and you've never seen them stand on the stage.
Wow. And they talk about that because everybody got the wrong impression about this shit
Mhm,
as a business. Like it's so much more vast. Like we looking at
mhm,
right now what's going on in Hollywood with the strike, right? And
mhm,
because people are really like going at these actors and like they think everybody because they say they're acting, they live in Hollywood, they rich.
mhm.
I'm like, say this is a big misconception even with comedy.
Yeah, and the one I had a misconception when it came to stand-up comedy. I would see people that I seen on Def Comedy Jam, on TV, in movies, and them cats be like, "Yo, can you give me a ride to the show?"
Wow.
Huh?
That's an eye opener. That's an eye opener.
It was so for the first couple of years, I'm thinking these people that I've seen, you know, that has big names and are talented and funny as hell. But it's like, why do you need a ride? Or why
Yeah.
you and then I realized the business of comedy is something completely different than the actual p- performance and stand-up aspect, which I chose to do.
Yeah.
It's almost two separate things. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? But if you understand both, you'll prosper. So I'm in the process of learning the business side. I think the stand up side is Greek. You know what I'm saying? I accomplished my goal of making it to the Apollo and selling it out. Thank God. So now I'm understanding the business side, and it's opening more and more doors. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If I answered that right, because I remember we talked about strikes and comedy writers and stuff like that. I hope I answered that right.
Nah. You did. You know, again, me getting a taste when I first did it, it was like it wasn't a dare, but it was like something I did spontaneously for my wife's birthday. We were in Vegas for her birthday, and we was about to move out here, but we was looking at some houses, and I said I was gonna do it, and she thought I was bullshitting, so I ended up doing it, and it actually worked out. And so I was chilling, but it was one of the most freeing experiences of the world. Like, because I spent so much time, my whole I Won't Starve story is me. Once we got out of school, I became a felon. I went through all this other shit, and I kept my head down, Sal. Like, I was not being who I was for years. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't want no smoke because I got turned down from jobs. I couldn't get no opportunities. So I'm like, I even changed abbreviated my name so you wouldn't see the felony. You wouldn't see me in that space. And so I'm like, now I'm free. And I got up to say what the hell I wanted to say, did what I wanted to do. And some people laughed. So I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. Never thought about no money or nothing like that. And so whenever I did do it, it was just like, this is me being me. And so, but seeing other people and people started, I'm like, these people really like struggling, and cats think that they're winning, and they're not. Like, they're still going through the path, man. So it's crazy.
It involves decision makings and stuff like that, and it's all in what you want at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Some people, it's fine with just doing open mic stand up. I did it, and they can tell the world. Some people are like, I'm trying to get to HBO. Some people want a Netflix special. Some people want to own their own comedy club. It's my own comedy radio podcast show. You know what I mean? Each person is different. You know what I mean? So from over the years, having to build these relationships with so many funny ass comedians, it's been beneficial because somebody always come back with the game. So that's the one thing I try to do now. With this new cats, I always attempt to try to don't go that way. It's bears down the street, make a left. I always try to help and direct who's ever coming up under me. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to see people like that. I would rather we all eat. I want to see everybody win.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. So now with you, like I said, the 20 years has hit me hard in a good way though, thinking about it, because I'm like, you are somebody who I wanted to up here so people can understand, because they again, I talked about the D.L. Hughley's, the Steve Harveys and stuff like that. Unless you get into that inner sanctum, they're not really telling you the path for real. You know what I mean? Steve Harvey would tell you, oh yeah, I was homeless, I was this. It's that lottery ticket shit. Like, so, because I don't want you to be homeless to have to be what Steve Harvey is. I want you to have a job for 18 years that all I can think of, we older now, so I'm thinking like, shit, Sal, a few years when he can retire and he can still do his comedy, still get a fucking check. Perfect. You know what I'm saying?
That was kind of the path I had to take. You know what I'm saying? I had to come to a realization. One, you're not funny enough yet. So you're gonna have to go out and hit these streets and put some work in. But guess what? You got a house, you got a mortgage, you got bills, you hungry, you're not in your mother and father's basement no more. What you gonna do? So I went and got the job so that it can offset me, you know what I'm saying, having to do something strange just to get on the stage. You know what I'm saying? And I don't mean like nothing crazy, but some people, they'll do anything to get on that stage to get that money. So with me working, that was a cushion to whereas I didn't necessarily have to accept anything in order to get on stage. If that makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
It does.
So I realized I had to go to hit these journeys. I would recommend, if you starting out, learn how to write a joke first. Learn about stage presence. Learn about crowd work. Learn how to stretch and pull your materials. You know what I mean? Learn what tags are. Learn what rants are. Learn what mind mapping and webbing of your material. The kind of, you really got to get into this. You know what I'm saying? I read the books. I took the classes. I done took the lumps and bruises. I done been called, come to New York, we got this show, da-da-da. I get over there, and guess what? Hey, I got you. Such and such just walked in the building. You gonna go on after this person. It's all the way at the end of the night. Like, oh, my bad. I'll get you on the next one. Nigga, you brought me out here and I stayed in here from 7 to damn near 12 o'clock at night for nothing. Hey. And I spent my own money.
Hey, tell them why the hell comedy is so late. And look, I told my wife was like, "You're doing real good. You should do it." I said, "Every damn thing start at 11, 12 o'clock at night. I want to go to bed."
Well, I mean, they got the earlier shows. You know what I'm saying? They got the earlier show. They got the 7. They got the 10, and then they got some late night joints for those who into that. So it
I think that
depends.
I'm in Vegas. So I think every damn thing it starts at damn 11:30, 12 o'clock at night. They got like one
Yeah,
thing at like 7 o'clock at night. I said for the over 40 motherfuckers need to we need to
yeah.
be
At
doing
least give me a seat
this.
in the. Said my knees hurt,
Yeah,
my
man. We need
lower back
happy
hurt.
hour comedy, not no goddamn midnight.
Like
I'm like, hold up. I'm
midnight madness.
over there at 12 o'clock at night. The shit just starting. I'm like, nah, I'm good. I need to go to
Yeah.
sleep.
But I would say that one of my better shows that I've had over the 20 years was in Vegas.
Okay.
It was a comedy club called Extreme Comedy Club. This was happening right after my father had passed, and I came out there to Vegas. There's a cat that's out there. I think his name was Billy Bob, brother. I said, "Boy, your name is Billy Bob." He had a comedy club called Extreme Comedy Club. I think they ended up closing it,
Yeah.
but that was probably one of my best stand-up performances at that time. Boy, I was sharp. Boy, I was on it. That's what I said. Boy, you moving, shaking, and popping.
Yeah. They shut some down because one I first did mine at is closed, and that was in 2021, and I came
Mm.
back for good at the end of the year, and it was already closed. So and the guy who was doing that was working at the one that I did my little open mic joint at. So it switches, and again, they need to know that part too. Like I think that people just keep seeing the portions that they see, and then they think that that's the story. Like, all right, Sal went up, did a couple open mics, and then now he's on. And again, I never heard of going to school and going to classes for comedy. I didn't hear about these books. I didn't hear about none of that shit. So, how many people that came to you and you told them this is the path, and they like, nah, never mind, I'm gonna go another route.
You see how many people came and said they want to be comedians?
Yeah, and you told them, hey, you need to go take this class, you need to go do this, you need to go do that, and they said, nah,
Well,
fuck
well,
that.
well. The advice I would give is start with the open mics. I said start with open mics, honing your skills because ain't nobody judging you. Everybody in there is trying to do the same thing you're trying to do. So open mic is basically the gym. So all of my ideas, like I still go to open mics to this day to work on new material. I mean, so that's the gym. That's where you shoot around at. You know what I'm saying? That's where you get your workout on. You know what I mean? Then from there, get good at that, and then learn how to get on one of the shows. While you contacted with some of the people at the open mic, usually somebody see you funny and say, "Yo, my peeps in them got a show at such and such. Are you available?" You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm available. All right, you go there, now you perform. All right. So now you build a relationship with somebody here, I mean, and that's gonna open the doors up to more and more opportunities. You know what I mean? So you start with the open mic, don't be afraid to fail. Some people afraid to fail. And it's been many a comedians over my 20-year history where it's like, yeah, I'm gonna be a comedian. I'm like, all right, I got you. You know how many people I put up on stage at Sweets Comedy Club? You know what I'm saying? I had a cousin of mine. She right there on stage, she doing her thing. She was eyeing. She like, cousin, I don't like this right here. she had to sit there and take it though. She like, I don't like this right here. One of my homeboys, he did a show. He was funny till he got booed.
yeah,
He got booed and was like, I said, yo, you ain't doing it. He said, nah, I don't like that feeling. So
yeah,
I would say, if this is what you want to do, you're gonna have ups and downs. You're gonna have peaks and valleys, but you really gotta map out a plan and work it out now. You know what I'm saying? Like even now, you know what I'm saying? It's some young comedians who got 5, 6, 7 years in the comedy game, and everybody know them because
yeah,
what? They did it through here. They did it through social media.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So now social media has came and even shifted the comedy game. Because a lot of people are funny on this camera and social media, the Facebooks, the Instagrams, but when you put them on a comedy stage with a mic in front of them and 300, 400 people just staring at them, that's a different ball game.
yeah. That's a whole different ball game. I think that I would think people will run from the work or that again. I'm fascinated off the stage work that you was doing, and I want to know
who you told to go do that, and they just took that advice, or did everybody run and say, nah, I'm not going to no comedy class, I'm not reading no books or shit like that?
Well, a lot of people just, everybody took their own paths. Like you said, some people, niggas start laughing at me like, this nigga reading books and going to classes. Like you already know, like you don't already know you funny. That's how they looking at it. Like you don't know you funny already. I'm like, yeah, but I ain't never too old to still learn.
Yeah.
It might be. I started picking up little stuff from these classes. It could be that little bit of information that he gave me that could take the material that I'm working on and make it from being like a chuckle to somebody spitting a drink on the back of the head of somebody in front of them.
Yeah.
So it's techniques. It's a lot of little nuances within comedy that I wanted to know the full effects of it. So most of my people, they kind of just went on their own
Yeah.
and just figured it out. You know what I'm saying? And they still funny as hell. This the path that I chose. That's all.
Yeah, but you got to think a couple things that come with that. Relationships is the number one thing that pop in my head, because when you start to meet, if you go into class and there's 50 other comedians that's in there, and you say from all nationalities and things of that nature, you build a relationship with them. Who you think they're gonna call when they got a show or they doing something? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then you get a chance to see the material that these other individuals are talking about that you might even wasn't even thinking about. Topics, ideas, things of that nature.
Exactly.
Then
I remember I'm going to cut you off because
are
it
you
just
good?
something just popped in my head, and I apologize for that. But I
Good.
remember this lady from I think she was Venezuela, Argentina. She was looking at me, and I'm like, "What's up?" She said, "I just don't understand you. I'm not saying you're not funny. I don't understand you, but I'm like, well, you'll never understand me because you didn't never grow up in my environment. I couldn't understand her because it was something completely different. So what it did to me was, it's like, you know how to make the hood laugh.
Mm-hmm.
That's easy. Now,
Yeah.
how you gonna make a woman in Argentina that's looking at you like, I don't know. Now that it was something in that class that made me say, well, I could make all of them laugh. It was a dude from India, it was a lady from Argentina, it was people from all over, and I'm like, I can make the hood laugh. How you make them laugh? Because they gonna pay you. The hood just gonna say that's my nigga.
That's the
These
difference.
are people that's gonna pay you and give you a little bit more opportunities. Where the more likely the hood, I'm like, man, come on, dog, let's just do it for me.
Yeah, yeah. And
So that's where you come in with the relationships and building some of them. Not saying that the hood ain't gonna pay you. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is it's like the mainstream is a lot more opportunities. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? So it's a different form of comedy than what we're accustomed to, where it's like I don't want you to curse. When you hit this stage, I don't want you to curse. I don't want you to say nothing sexual. And I don't want you to do X, Y, and Z. So now as a comedian, you got to remove 3 of these and still be funny. A lot of
yeah,
people can't do that.
yeah. And then, but it just opened up your booking though, because so now a church can call you,
Mm-hmm.
bar mitzvah can holler at you. You just told me that you can go to another country or multiple countries and perform. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like, it's just so many things that come with that. But most importantly, that you're trying to be a master of your craft. You're just not just trying to be a participant. So that's
Yes.
the dopest thing.
Yeah. And it takes me back because I remember those days when my pops used to be like, focus. You know what I mean? And it's like his voice and stuff echo more and more now than it did back then. You know what I mean? I looked at some of the stuff I should have done instead of playing on practice, you should have been practicing.
Yeah,
So now some of those things where I'm like, it didn't work then, try to implement it now. And he already showed you the blueprint on how to be a champion.
yeah,
Take that blueprint. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
that's my goal and my model now.
Look, it's working, man. So that Apollo phone call. What was that like when you got that hit, man?
Um, Let me take you back, right? So 2003, I read the book, Comedy Bible. I had to write down goals. My number one goal was to perform at the Apollo live sold out show. And manifested 20 years later, I get the phone call. Bob. Anybody know Bob Sumner? He the one that put together Def Comedy Jam, Laugh Mob. He doing a lot of big things around the city out here. And he's like, you know, the star maker. You know what I'm saying? If you ever read any like Kevin Hart books and things like that, everybody mentions Bob Sumner, right? He called me. He said, nephew, I was supposed to do X, Y, and Z, and I was looking, and it was like Sal. And I was thinking of your father, but he called me. And he was like, are you free on March 3rd? Da, 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 da. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, well, I was so. He said, I'm putting you on the Apollo. I'm like, what? The Apollo? He said, yeah. Yeah. I'm like, all right, okay. So what I need to do, he said, look, I send the information, send the email, da, da, da. Click. I'm gonna reach back out to you. Click. Boy, like my face like just split in half with just a smile, like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And all I could say was, Black, I did it.
Yeah.
And that was my first thought. Like, I told you I was gonna make it. You know what I'm saying? So it made the hard work of all of the years of going through the things I went through, the ups, the downs, the, you know, almost getting killed at a comedy club. You know what I mean? Fights at comedy club. To make it to the Apollo stage, to a sold out show, and then get up there and do my motherfucking thing.
Yeah.
God is good.
Yes, man. Hey,
God is good, bro. I was super excited.
that's that look, as I told you earlier, how we was going crazy when we saw it. We was paying attention to the journey, and we talking to other people because you know Kai and them out here in the West Coast with us, and so we talked like, yeah, hell yeah, little Sal, like we was going nuts about it like as if it was us, man. So what has changed now since that happened for you? How's that? What did that do for your career afterwards? Outside of you just being excited about it, what did that do for your career?
One is it's a big step for a comedian to perform at the Apollo. I got a credit, you know what I'm saying? Because TV credits and things, you know, that those things kind of matter.
Yeah.
It took me to another level in comedy. You know what I'm saying? It took me to another status, and it opened up a lot more doors. Like I'm getting booked. I just came back from upstate New York. You know what I mean? Just did a show last week. I'm traveling all over the country now.
Yeah.
Getting booked. Like I said, my man, I got something in the military. Like, yo, we gonna fly you out. My man in Arizona calling me, dog, when you coming. We gonna set everything up. Just tell me what you need, how much you need, room, board, flights, you know. So, and then now I'm working on a special because I need my impact. I need a real impact statement now. You know what I'm saying? To solidify that. Because the Apollo wasn't no fluke, man. I really do this right here. You know what I mean? So to my peers, nigga, I'm here. I did it.
Yeah.
I mean, so all them doubts y'all niggas used to have, nah, not only did I come through, I ain't show up, I showed the fuck out.
Yes. Yeah. Man, listen, the name of this show is S.T.A.R.V.E Talk. And stand tall, reclaim victory every day. Is that's the whole
That's the
acronym.
acronym. Stand tall.
Reclaim
What up?
victory every day.
I like that, bro. I like that. Yeah.
That you on here for a reason, man. Not just because it's all love between us and we grew up around each other and we've been to school together, but I'm watching your movements, man, and you fit that acronym. You fit that acronym, bro. And I want you to tell everybody what that acronym means to you. You know, stand tall and reclaim victory every day.
What it means to me is get up every day and go for your goals, man. Whatever your dreams is, don't let nobody doubt you. You're gonna have family members doubt on you and hate on you. You're gonna have your other comedian friends then hating on you. You're gonna have your spouse hating on you. You're gonna have brothers, sisters, because they're not gonna understand your journey. All right. I mean, tie them boots up, get up every morning and strive towards what you're looking for. You know what I mean? Don't forget the number one ingredient. God makes no mistakes. All right. And that's whatever God you decide to pray to. You know what I mean? Walk that path each and every day. Work hard. You know what I mean? Eat right. And don't let nobody take you off of your dream, man. You know what I mean? I had people, you know, that kind of pulled me away. And after a while, it was like, get everybody stop. I'm doing this. You either get on board or leave me alone. And I just really zoned in and focused, like my pop said, on my goals. And once I did that, I started to look around. A lot of people start falling off, but then they start picking up later. because they see the momentum. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So make sure you stand tall on whatever it is you striving for. Go for whatever your dreams is, and don't let nobody tell you no. All right? You're gonna fall, you're gonna scrape your knee, you're gonna twist your ankle, you might even break something, but still keep going.
Yeah. Man, let me tell you something. Like I said, you fit the bill, man, for Star Talk. That's why you're here. I make it a point to not just have anybody on this show, because I went through some years ago. I've interviewed a bunch of celebrities. I went all over the country doing all of that. But and even though a lot of them were good people and nice people, they were nice to me, but it didn't have the impact of talking to other individuals who my audience can actually touch. You know what I'm saying? And having a real story, because it's always the lottery ticket. Like, you got this one person out of everybody who's a billionaire or millionaire doing what you do, and then that makes you either want to do it or you don't want to do it, right? But in music, in comedy, in acting, it's a lot of people having great careers. They might not be millionaires, but they're putting their kids through school. They're putting their kids through college. They're feeding themselves. They're not missing a beat, and they have that. And those are those people that stand out there in the picket signs. Those are people like yourself who you have a journey, 20 years. You know what I'm saying? And you're still young. So what happens in the next 20 years? Because you got the Steve Harveys are 60 years old, and D.L. Hughley's is 60 plus, and Martin and all the Eddie's 60 something years old right now. Man, 20
Salute
years
to
from now,
them.
like, yo, that can be you. It will be.
And it will be. It will be. Because
but they got a real story and a real testimony from you.
Yeah.
And that's why I wanted you on here. Like, yo, stop telling I call lottery ticket, and I'm telling people that's the name of my next book, because we're caught up in that. And what the lottery ticket is like, we all know that only one person gonna win it, but it still makes millions of people play. And so the Jay-Z's is going to make millions of people try to be Jay-Z, when you can be that executive in the studio that's making a shit ton of money anyway, and he just not Jay-Z. Or you can, Steve Harvey, okay, that's fine, he's there, but it's a lot of Sal Holmes that has a real career that's doing what they need to do, and you can learn from him. And so I want to shed light on those lottery ticket myths, and also bring light to these real life situations and real life wins that people are having, like yourself.
And just like you said, there's a lot of people who don't want to be with all that spotlight in their face.
Right.
They just want to write their material, write their shows, do their stand-up, and take care of their family. Some people don't want the big spotlight. Some people don't want the big, the Steve Harvey fame or the Dave Chappelle. Some people really don't want that. It's a lot of people that's willing to go up there, and then those are a lot of people that's willing to do anything to get up there. Exactly. I'm not one of those people that's willing to do that. I get mine straight out the mud, as they say. I've been taught how to get it straight from the ground up. You know what I'm saying? I'll build it myself, you know? If you build, like what my man said, fill the dreams. If you build it, they will come.
Amen.
And that's what Sweet's Comedy Club is.
You did just that. You doing this that. You know, when I did my set, I immediately slid it to your inbox. I said, Sal tell me the truth.
Yeah. So between you, Penny was good. You know what I'm saying? And like I used to tell P, I'm like, yo, just time. Just a little bit of patience. That's all. You know?
I talked to him too. I was trying to because he was like, man, I was looking at yours. It seemed like it was so effortless. I said, you want to know why mine looked effortless and yours didn't? I said, because I was doing it for freedom. I wasn't doing it for nobody else, man. Like, I was so bound up, and I never thought about it as a career, but I definitely took it as something. I never had hobbies since I was a kid. Like, we didn't have hobbies. So like, what can I do to make myself smile? You know what I'm saying? I might be making somebody else smile in the process, but that made me smile to be able to be myself. Some people go golfing. You know what I mean? Some people go and do.
I need that release.
And so that was like, yo, bro, I got pardoned for all my crimes in June of 2021.
On that, bro.
At the same time, like literally 2003 is when I became a felon, and 2021 is when I got pardoned for all my crimes. So 2 months later, I was able to be free. I was able to talk the way I wanted to talk, walk the way I wanted to talk. Didn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so I'm like, let me let it out right here. I don't care if they laugh or they don't. They just
look at the beauty of that. Look at the beauty. you can see the smile on your face, bro. You know what I mean? It's like, got the people. I mean, don't brush your shoulder off, bro.
It's a crazy situation. So, having that and being able to talk about with you and share this fun time, that's just an amazing situation for me, man. I appreciate what you're doing. You got my support. And when you coming back out to Vegas, I got to be front row in the show. Well, now I'll be in a couple back rows. You gonna work me?
Pause. I got you, bro. But see, the whole thing is, right, I done got so good. I know how to attack, you know what I'm saying, the audience without attacking them. You know what I'm saying? I make them laugh. I'm gonna tell you this one story, right? It was in Jersey City, and this gay dude was walking down the stairs, right?
Yeah.
He had on like a small, little skinny white dude with a small like fur, but he didn't have it on. And it looked like he was floating down the steps. And I told the audience, I'm like, look at my man. Oh my God, you's a bad little bitch. So he started laughing. I said, you actually floated down the stairs like a fairy. The crowd went crazy, right? So at the end of the night, we taking pictures. He said, you're funny. He said, you the only man that ever called me a fairy, and I laughed. So I know how to,
hell yeah.
Jokes because you can use this material to hurt, or you can use it to heal as well.
Yeah.
So
that's professional.
The comedy, that tongue is a mighty sword, as they say. You know what I'm saying? So I can do that. I mean, I was like, oh shit, I had a whole community gonna shut me down. I'd be kicked off every platform. But he came to me. He was like, yo, that was funny. I appreciated that you made a humor. And it didn't make me feel like subjugated or like, you know what I mean? I thought that shit was funny.
Nah, hey man, but that's it. I think that comes with the professionalism, though. You know what I'm saying? And I think that comes with the training. I kept harping on that because doing what I do, it's my certifications and all that other stuff. Like I was coaching people and helping people be business owners way before I got any certifications. But I wanted to be a master at it. You know what I'm saying? And so getting the certifications, understand how other people coach, understand how to approach different people, because everybody ain't coming from the mud. Some people are leaving off their job as baby boomers, and they've been making six-figure jobs, and they're trying to transition to business owners. How do I talk and communicate with them? You know what I'm saying? Everybody's not an ex-felon coming out of prison or something crazy shit like that and teaching them how to be in business. How do I communicate with them? How do I not insult them? You know what I'm saying? So that professionalism.
Exactly.
Look, bro, thank you so much for taking the time, man. You know what I mean? I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you, and I'm proud of what you're doing, bro, for real.
Yeah, I'm proud of you too, Jay. You know what I'm saying? I got the book right here. Where I put my boy at? Right here, right here. There we go. I got your books, man. I support it. Once I saw it, I said I had to hop on it. You know what I mean? Like I said, man, it's a beautiful thing. Next time out in Vegas, we're gonna have to link up so you can see what I do live and in person.
Yeah, hell yeah. I'm gonna definitely be there and kick it. We gotta go grab a bite, all that.
Yeah. So also, man, I'm working on a book right now that's coming out.
Love it.
I got a podcast coming, and then by next year I'll have my special and all that I'm working on it now for it to come out next year. I don't have like no date yet, but I'm working on the material and putting everything into play right now.
Man,
and also, like I said, telling people look out for Sweets Comedy Club. That's my comedy club. It's mobile. We got a lot of good things. You know what I'm saying? Facebook, Instagram, Sal Comedy, as well as Sweets Comedy Club, and that's Sweets with a Z Comedy Club.
I want to ask you a question real fast about that, like entrepreneurship. You know, one thing, because you can be a comedian, just make your money and go home, but the being an entrepreneur, and then also being an entrepreneur where you're trying to help other comedians. What was that transition like for you in the mindset you had to be in to do that?
Well, I learned from the bumps and bruises of getting treated like shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that nigga ain't funny. Get the fuck out. Or realize you are getting used. You know what I'm saying? You come to a realization, oh, these niggas just trying to use me. So what I did when I created Sweets Comedy Club, that was one, I could always have a place to perform myself, and two, to help up the next generation of comedians that's coming, and hopefully they might not have to go down the path that I took or took the bumps and bruises that I took. You know what I'm saying? I know everybody got to walk their own path, but when you come here, it's like, you know, you coming home. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
always a seat. It's always a place to eat. You know what I mean? We're gonna talk about you and your dumbass decision makings, but come on in. You know what I'm saying? Or you can talk about me and my decision making. You know what I mean? It's basically like coming back home.
Yeah, any successful person always had that same mantra and motto that, you know, that you're trying to prevent other people from going through the shit you went through. Like
Mm-hmm.
I've never heard a person that's successful not say that. You know what I mean? But the people who are like, I don't give a damn, they might be up for a little while, but they always coming down. Like it's a responsibility to set up some type of situation that people behind you shouldn't have to go through the shit you go through, especially if you look like me and you, because you know it's hard enough. It's hard enough,
Yeah,
and there's no way you can say you got love for your people if you making them go through the same shit you went through, man. Like that's just
yeah,
like that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
yeah. And you right about that, bro. It ain't. You know what I mean? I realize it's like I said. I was out there talking shit to all these cats, and your mother like, it's Saturday. Cartoons off. Go outside. Now you got to face that.
Yeah,
It's almost like the same thing. Now you I can't stop you from facing what's coming your way, but I just want to prepare you for what you're gonna run into. You know what I mean? Look out for these pitfalls. Don't go down that street. That street got they robbing people, or if the street's messed up, you're gonna mess up your tires, you know. So it's more like a early warning system to an extent.
yeah. And shit, they can fall back on the cushion. You know what I'm saying? You fell back on on the pavement, they fall back on a cushion. And you always got a place here to come, you know what I'm saying, lick your wounds and go back out. And
Yeah.
that helps, man. So I definitely I hate that I missed that earlier, but no, that I needed to know about that transition. And people, this is also an option for other individuals as well, man. Like you ain't gotta wait on nobody, create your own shit. You
Yeah,
know?
and it's crazy because a few of my people's done basically took the formula. You know what I'm saying? They created their own. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? I'm not necessarily a part of it, but them my brothers. I mean, you know, I'm yeah, thank you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, there you go. Keep doing that. You know,
Yeah.
open your own shows, start your own shows. I mean, I started my own shows because I got tired of what they was doing. You know what I'm saying? Like one comedian, he get the budget, but he divvying out a little bit to each person while he keep the bulk of it. I
Yeah.
mean,
No,
so like you said, it's understanding the business, understanding the actual art of comedy and the art and business of comedy. It's two
yeah.
separate things.
Yeah, man. One thing I would tell you to do, Sal, and I would love for you to do it, and I even invest in it if you need an investor. Um, a class at Sweets Comedy,
Okay.
a comedy
Okay.
class, man. I think that you should do that, man, because it's so many of us that look like us that want to be in the entertainment space, and we just jumping out the window, man. Like we just jumping out with no parachute, hoping that something happened. But it really is blueprints to winning, man. And I think that you took a class and you benefited from it. So offering one, so I'll sponsor a couple people, whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
But offering a class, get one of the people over there from New York, bring their ass over there on the path the other way, and let them.
Man, look here. We got enough OGs in New Jersey to where we ain't got to go all the way over. It's enough, and it's enough people that can, and it's a lot of OGs from us right here in New Jersey who can help us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you
Because a
definitely
lot of
can
the
have a class,
cats in
man.
New York, they got their shows. You know what I'm saying? They got their classes, and it ain't. You know, it's always been like a New York, New Jersey, a Philly, New York, New up. It's just a competition, but I got brothers in New York that I fuck with heavy. I got people in Philly I fuck with heavy. They fuck with us heavy. So yeah, I would kind of keep it home. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? But I mean that you can't have a guest speaker come or this
yeah,
one
yeah,
guest speaker, and it's amazing. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
that's an idea. I just wrote it down in the book. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? I
please
like
do
I
that,
like that
man.
idea.
And any up and coming comedians that acting like they have a hard time with money for that, we'll do a sponsorship. I want Star Academy to do a sponsorship
Yeah.
scenario, and we'll pipe it in and keep the ball going, man, for people to go ahead and do it. Because if they take that class, I think that they'll look at it differently, and they'll go into it, and we'll have a lot less dropouts. Like you get into, you'll stick to it as opposed to fucking up and then like, all right, I'm leaving. Teach them about being booed, and that's okay. Boo their ass in the class so they are ready for it, man.
You gonna have to learn it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Because I got booed, bro. It took me a year. Boy, and they're like, boy, I think he's suicidal. Go get him. You know what I mean?
I haven't gotten booed yet, but I had a bad night. But everybody had a bad night. It was a white dude said nigga. He's like the second comedian up, and he said nigga, and it fucked up the rest of the night. He said it like 18 times. He just kept saying shit. The niggas had to get him off the stage. And so the rest of the shit was fucked up. So I just turned it on them. I'm like, man, he said way worse shit than everybody else. And we just all went, and it was that, but it was just a bad night for everybody. But they ain't get me yet. I'm about like 20 something sets in. And
yeah, well, I mean, and 20 sets in, that's still crawling.
Yeah, hell yeah.
That ain't even walking yet. You just learning the, you know,
I know.
You ever seen the baby rock?
I ain't going. So once they get back to 7 o'clock, I step my ass up. I ain't doing the 12 o'clock at night shit.
But and it's funny you say that, right? Because a lot of times them late night shows like that, at the end of the shows, that's where a lot of the business stuff happens.
Yeah.
After, you know, a person done performed and it's all right, you know, whose side, now it's time just regular. You'll be surprised that ideas that comedians share, drills that some comedians do. Some comedians even have stuff where it's like, all right, when you perform, you got to say cat 12 times while you performing, or you owe me, whatever it may be. Or you got to say fuck 6 times in a row, whatever it may be, you know what I mean? Just skills and drills to keep you sharp on that stage. You know what I mean?
Look, y'all see what happens when the conversation gets great, man. And,
yeah, we don't want to hang up. I got to get ready for this podcast.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, look, man, again, he already gave you information. Tell him all the information, Sal.
All right, y'all can follow me at Sal Comedy on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Also, I have an Instagram, a Sweets Comedy Club. That's Sweets Comedy Club with a Z. Also, it's a Facebook group, Sweets Comedy Club with a Z, as well as a YouTube page, Sweets Comedy Club. So I'm learning these platforms and stuff now, Jay. Like I'm, you know, my man was telling me, he said, Sal, don't die like a dinosaur, because I'm used to the old way of doing things. And right now, technology has took to something different. So I don't want to be the old head in the club still dancing. You know what I'm saying? Now you come into this.
Yeah, nah, that's get
So
some.
I appreciate you once again, bro.
Get some young cats around you. Let them, feed off that energy. But yeah, man, look, all that stuff when y'all see it on the playback, you're gonna see. You should see all the stuff on the screen, how to follow Sal, and also in the notes. But look, we on www.iwon'tstarve.com. I Won't Starve is the platform y'all already know. I am Jay Halim on all social media platforms for me. Go to youtube.com/@Starve Talk. Go ahead and subscribe to it so you'll see everything on here. Go to Spotify, Apple Play, everywhere podcasts are played. Go in there and check it out right now. We come out every Wednesday. Listen, thanks again, Sal. Love you, bro. Appreciate you.
I love you too, man. And I won't starve. You won't starve. We're going to make sure these kids don't starve either. All right? So thank you. Thank you to your homegirl. I love the professionalism. Peace, y'all.
Have a good one, bro.